In this video, we want to help families, educators, and providers navigate the resources available to support children with disabilities who have the most intensive needs during the COVID-19 pandemic. We want to highlight resources that help you answer the question, what resources are available to support the academic needs of children with the most intensive needs? We intend the video to be a brief introduction to free resources available from 3 technical assistance centers that you can explore on your own and share with others. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and families and professionals should work together to improve outcomes for children with disabilities. Meeting the needs of children with significant disabilities is challenging in most circumstances. If you are the parent of a child with intensive needs, the pandemic has likely significantly increased the challenges you face every day in caring for and educating your child. We recognize that these resources alone will not relieve all your concerns nor answer all of your questions. We hope that sharing this video with the team of educators and the other professionals in your child's life may provide an opportunity to build upon conversations you're having to support your child while they're engaged in virtual learning or a mix of in-person and remote learning during the pandemic. In this video, we will cover supports for families in the home, supports for families as they transition to and from in-school services, and supports for families to share with educators. The National Center on Deaf Blindness, NCDB, consolidated an array of resources for families with ideas for activities to use at home during the pandemic, right into an easy access page. The resources include ways for establishing routines at home, ways to make literacy activities more meaningful by adding tactile components, creating spaces that encourage exploration of the surroundings, and ways to provide an array of sensory activities. They also provide specific ideas for children with cortical vision impairments and other topics. The importance of families in the lives and learning of their children cannot be understated. The TIES Center, in collaboration with the National Center on Educational Outcomes, created a series of videos to support and extend the learning of children with intensive needs within the home. Each video is short and focuses on why the content is important and gives specific ideas for what families can build into their routines to support learning in each area. The video series focuses on helping your child learn through everyday activities and transitions, communication, both the foundations and the continued support for growth, academics, math, both the foundations and the continued support for growth, reading, again, both the foundations and continued support for growth. In the near future, the series will be completed with videos on writing skills and monitoring student progress. Each video shares key information about the topic and ideas for how families can support their child's learning while they're at home. They also include information for how to collaborate with your child's school so your child's learning is aligned and well supported. When considering what supports are available for families related to academics when students transition to and from in-school services, here are several resources that can help facilitate that process. The first resource comes from the TIES Center. It's the 5C process, planning for instruction both at school and distance learning. Collaboration between school and home is a key component for developing a strong program, whether instruction happens at school or at home. Collaboration is particularly important to identify the essential learning for students, how to provide it in each environment, and to align what happens in both environments for each student. The 5C process can be shared with schools to support learning during the transition process. The other resources come from NCII, the National Center on Intensive Intervention. Many strategies that support in-school learning can be used during at-home instruction. This is key so that the learning areas identified for students with intensive learning supports can be focused in both environments. NCII developed a series of resources, including example lessons, implementation videos, tip sheets, and data collection strategies focused on mathematics intervention, literacy intervention, behavior and social emotional interventions, and data collection and teaming. The series also focuses on implementation strategies for home and ways of collaborating with families. The content builds alignment across school and home. Building off this focus is important as schools and home plan for continuation of intensive support as students transition to in-school services. These are resources that families can share with educators, but are also important for families to know about and understand. We have divided the resources into those that focus on academic content and processes that support collaborative program design and delivery. When thinking about content, NCII provides a series of reading lessons to support special education instructors, reading interventionists, and others working with students who struggle with reading. These lessons, adapted with permission from the Florida Center for Reading Research and Meadows Center for Preventing Educational Risk, address key reading and pre-reading skills and incorporate research-based instructional principles that can help intensify and individualize reading instruction. The reading lessons are examples of brief instructional routines that may be used to supplement reading intervention program or curricula that are currently in place. These lessons are designed to illustrate concepts and supplement, not supplant, reading instruction and interventions for struggling readers. They do not represent an exhaustive reading curriculum. It is expected that teachers would customize these lessons to meet the needs of their target students. The goal of this site is to provide information and resources for teaching and working with children who have complex learning challenges. Specifically, the site is designed for family members and educators interested in beginning or enhancing literacy instruction for children who have combined vision and hearing loss. NCII, in partnership with Project STAIR, supporting teaching of algebra individual readiness, hosted a series of 3 free webinars focused on implementing data-based individualization with a focus on mathematics during COVID-19 restrictions. There are also mathematics examples available to illustrate concepts and supplement, not supplant, mathematics instruction and interventions for students with extensive support needs. The TIES Center has created a number of TIPS, TIES Inclusive Practice Series, as the foundations of inclusion. These tips act as a transition in understanding the content areas and moving to processes that support students with extensive support needs within grade-level content and standards. These are practical, succinct examples of how to specially design instruction that meets the needs of unique learners. NCII has compiled a list of frequently asked questions about progress monitoring and data collection during times of virtual learning. Resources are shared within each answer section so families can become more familiar with the resources available in answer to their questions. The TIES Center, in partnership with CAST, has developed a collaborative planning tool called the 5-15-45 Planning Tool. Using this tool, general and special educators can meaningfully collaborate and universally design lessons together, whether they have 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or 45 minutes. Using this process, educators are able to efficiently co-plan instruction that meets the needs of students with the most significant cognitive disabilities, with many resources for them to dig deeper when they have the time to do so. The TIES Center has written a brief that helps parents determine whether their child with a significant cognitive disability is provided meaningful access to the general education curriculum. It debunks the myth that students who take their state's alternative assessment based on alternate academic achievement standards, AA, AAAS, need an alternate curriculum. The TIES Center also has provided a brief that answers the questions of what access to and progress in the general education curriculum means for students with the most significant cognitive disabilities. This brief helps parents Understand that a student's educational setting should not be determined by whether or not they take the alternative assessment, but rather they should have the opportunity to achieve success within the same grade level content and experiences as their same age peers. We hope you found this video a useful guide that may help answer your questions about resources that support a focus on academics both at home and when transitioning back to in-person instruction that were developed by 3 OSEP National Technical Assistance Centers. The links discussed in this video are listed here. If you are a parent, you may want to share this video with a team of educators and other professionals in your child's life, so that you together can make sure that your child receives the support they need to learn and grow during the pandemic and beyond.